Good morning, chat. My name is Penbu, the programming, puzzle gaming, and music making VTuber on Linux, and today we are playing Tetris. And it seems, oh, actually, we are probably good here. Okay. Yeah, it's been about 2 months since we last played a Tetris game, or rather a stacker. Last time was Tetra Esports, back in September-ish, I think. So it's been a while. And it's been quite a while since we played this version too. I think it was back maybe in July, maybe earlier. Uh, but we're back now. I've had a bit of practice since then, so maybe we'll get to see a level 19 transition, which is a uh, pretty big milestone, I'd say. But we're probably going to be starting at level 18 today. Um, and for those of you who are on NES TETRIS, these will be recorded on NES TETRIS. Let me get the link for you here. I actually don't know if you can see the games there, but if you're on there, then I'm on there as well. All right. So let's get started here. Yeah, yeah. Once again, apologies for being late today. I thought that the 2 waffles that I ate were gonna be good enough to tide me over until the end of the stream, but apparently it wasn't enough to even tide me over to the beginning of the stream, so can't do that. What did I do that for? Oh wait, this is on level 8. Whoops. No wonder things have felt a little bit slow. So to start at level 18, you have to hold A, and then press start. And apparently, I didn't hold A. So we're just gonna see this through until I top out, which will be quite a while. But I suppose this is a good warm up in the meantime. I am not liking how high I am, but it is slow enough that it doesn't really matter. Oh, this is a very messy stack. Whoops. I'm gonna try to... No, that's not enough. Okay. I suppose that's, will be okay for a warm-up. Okay, now to hold A and then press start. This should be much faster. There we go. Yeah, I remember when I was first starting out, this felt really fast to me, and now it just feels normal. It's probably not a good idea because I have no space for the O pieces. Happy welcome in. Well, that's not good. This one's gonna be a wash. It's okay. Start off like this, and then once we get in the groove, it'll be a lot better. I note here that the score to beat, at least for now, is a little bit over 200,000 to get to the top spot there. But that was starting at level 13. We got that in our first stream. But level 18 will be our start today. Probably for most of the stream too. Because that is where everyone else starts at. That was not a good move. Mad respect to kids who used to play this. Yeah, and it's actually the kids who are making all the records too these days. The classic scene is still very active. Whoops. I suspect it's because it's the kids who have time to grind stuff out. And also probably have faster reflexes and all that. But you may have heard of Blue Scooty. He made the news, I think it was sometime last year, for beating Tetris. And by that, they mean get to the true kill screen where the game crashes. And I think he was only 15 at the time. Either 15 or 13, I don't remember. But still fairly, relatively young. Remember seeing something about him? He had a scandal. Oh yeah, because actually, no, the most I heard about a scandal was I think it was it the British news or the Australian news? Where where the news anchor said, go play outside. Get some fresh air. And everyone got upset about that. Yeah, apart from that, I didn't really hear about any other scandal. Only one quad that time. Gotta step up my quad game here. Oops. That's not supposed to be there. I guess we're making a center well, or close enough to a center well. You don't want to be making center wells in classic Tetris because they're harder to maintain. There we go. That's what you're looking for. I don't know how I feel about that. With this game, you can go from feeling very good to feeling not so great in a matter of a couple pieces. I don't really want to say anything about my my current progress here, because I could turn for the worse very quickly. Like right now. Oh, that's dead. We're getting bigger and bigger rockets. This is good. Uh-oh. Nope, nope, this one's a wash. When you get up to a certain point, and when you're up a little bit too high, you actually can't get the eyepiece over in time before it hits it, so there's a point where it's not worth trying. Oops. What is up with this? Okay, I'll try to slow down a little bit. See if I can get back into whatever groove I was in earlier. No push down, just let it fall. I mean, at this speed you don't really need to push down anyway. Oh, no, that's too high. Yeah, so as I said, when it gets up to a certain point, it does get too high for the piece to go through. At least if you're using the DAS play style, where you just hold down the button until it goes to where you want it to go. There are other play styles. The two leading ones are hyper tapping, which is where you press the button repeatedly until repeatedly and very quickly until the piece gets to where you want it to go, and then rolling, where you use the back of the controller as a very big button effectively, which is much more efficient, and that's how the top tier players get to really high levels. I've attempted to roll before. Still need a ton of practice before it's actually usable. But right now I'm just using Joy-Cons because it's the most comfortable. You can't roll on Joy-Cons. This technically counts as an official Nintendo controller. That's not 4. Sorry to anyone who's a bit photosensitive, by the way. This game does flash every time I get a Tetris. No, we're done. I don't think I can save this one. Touch metal always amazes me. Yeah, and you'd think for a game that's been out for, what is it now? It's about 30 years. Is it 1980s or 1990s? I might have been the 80s actually, late 80s. When did the NES come out? I don't remember. But yeah, you know, for a game this old, you'd think that a lot hasn't. Yeah, like people have discovered everything that that can be discovered about it, but no, records keep breaking and people keep finding new techniques and all that. And so I think it was only last year. So NES Tetris has a wraparound where if you get to level 255 or something like that, the level counter rolls back and resets to 0, and they call that rebirth. And I think maybe only 2 people have gotten it so far, from what I've heard. Or maybe more now, but it was all within the last year. Name too cool for a Tetris game. It's actually also I don't know if you've seen the level that comes before it. So there's a certain point where the colors get all wacky because of how memory is laid out and all that, and how the color schemes actually get determined by the game. So when you get to the point where the developers didn't think you would actually be able to reach, the colors do get wacky, and the last level before Rebirth is actually just all red, which is kind of fitting. Alright, welcome in. Does the Tetris meta evolve? Tetris has been solved. So Tetris has been solved in the sense that you can get a task to do whatever you want with it. Task being a tool-assisted speed run, for those of you not familiar. But yeah, it's hard to say whether all the techniques have been discovered, because you think that somebody has found all the techniques already, and then somebody comes with something new. Like in the last 5 or so years, a new input technique called rolling came out, and that has led to a bunch of broken records. I don't know if there's much to improve on rolling, or if there's any stacking improvements to be made. In my opinion, I don't see anything, but maybe that's just me not being innovative enough. Is there like frame manipulations to manipulate what blocks show up, like line piece forever? Yeah, so if you pause the game for a specific number of frames, then you can theoretically make whatever piece you want show up. And task bots do sometimes make use of that. But a normal human wouldn't be able to do that, I don't think. But hey, people do, if you've ever seen the Super Mario speedruns, people do make frame-perfect jumps, so... I should have used that J piece down there. Yeah, pausing itself does incur a time penalty. I don't think Tetris is generally competed by time. It is usually by score and level, but yeah, there are downsides to pausing. Whoops. Let me give you a shout out here. For those of you in chat who have not seen him before, we actually did do a collab last week where I walked him through how to compose music. But he normally does teaching about microbiology and biology in general. Today, he went over how cats contributed to our understanding of vision. Cool stuff. Very informative. Do recommend checking that out. I was gonna say I made myself an eyepiece dependency, but that's even worse. And the classic scene actually whoops. The classic scene does use slightly different terminology. I think they still use the letters, but for the eyepieces, they tend to call them long bars. You might be able to guess why. And it makes sense because in classic Tetris, the eyepiece is the most important piece. Because the most efficient way to get that's a little bit early. The most efficient way to get points in classic Tetris is to make Tetrises, where you clear 4 lines at once, and the only way you can do that is with the long bar. Whoops. Can I get that in? Yes. I'm gonna at least bring that down a little bit. Or not. Skim that. Still don't have 4. And I will not have 4 because I left a hole. Sometimes I wonder about these split decisions I'm making. Kinda just have to live with them, though. Okay, we're largely cleaned up. As long as I survive, I think we can probably make transition. But surviving, I think, is the hard part. I think it takes over 100 lines to get to transition to level 19. I didn't actually check, but I think I did see somebody on Reddit say that they cleared about 100 and something lines before they got to transition. So it'll be a bit before we get there. And I don't think we're getting there with that. Definitely not with that. Still, I think a pretty decent run. Although we have had higher scores before today. Let's try again. Awful. And now I have another dependencies everywhere. Okay. I'm gonna try to... That was the wrong way. I was gonna say I was gonna try to skim that part off, but I don't think that's something we have to worry about now. Okay, that's not a piece dependency. That is a T piece dependency, which is extremely risky. Do not go for T-spins in this game. They don't give you anything. They're only for recovery. Okay. I may be going a little bit too fast. On the flip side, if I do get used to that speed, it means I should be able to last in level 19 pretty easily. Because that speed is pretty much what level 19 is. It's a speed at which, if you hold down the down button, or rather, the pieces fall as fast as they would if you just held down the down button. It was pretty fast. It also means if I'm already doing that, then that means I'm already used to the speed at which it would go at. I missed the turn. You only have like 1 or 2 frames before the piece locks into place. So it can be very tricky to get a T-spin if you're not already very used to the timing of the game. Gotten better, but I'm still not completely consistent on that front. Alright, I think we can dig ourselves out of here. We dug ourselves out a little bit. Not enough, though. I do wonder how interesting this is to watch. Especially when I just keep doing the same thing over and over again. I was at a party earlier this year, and at some point I pulled out Tetris, and I was playing on level 12 at the time, I think. And some of the guests were actually pretty glued to the gameplay, so it must be at least somewhat interesting to watch, I think. Because my sense of speed for this game is now warped because I can play at higher levels. So I don't know how fast this looks to any of you now. Because for me, level 18 like this feels like normal speed. Anything slower than that feels slow. Alright, that's a good start. I should not have tried to preserve that. Oh, is this enough to dig out? I don't think so. Well, when the first line clears a Tetris, I think that's a good sign. That might not be, though. That especially not. Okay. I'm looking for an eyepiece. I get one, but it's still too high. Alright. I'll stack those eyepieces up there. There are some seeds that do happen to have a lot of eyepieces. So when you get lucky, I guess, just kind of hope for those ones, but... Ooh. So Tetris is seeded. Sort of. I think it... What was it? I think it might be based on the time or something. It's like any other random generator. It's like you have an initial input, and usually computers use the time for that. But yeah, I think if you use a task or something, you can do some manipulation to get the correct, or to get a specific seed. But if you can do frame manipulation through pausing, or piece manipulation through pausing, you don't really need to do that. So maybe seeding is the wrong word, but in my experience, there have been sequences, or rather patterns, rather, that are, I don't want to say repetitive, but that have come up before. So like an excess of eyepieces, for example, or an excess of certain other pieces, because the random number generator it uses is not completely random. So the way that classic Tetris works is that it generates a piece randomly, and then it checks to see if it's the same as the previous piece it dished out, and if it is, it rolls again, and then it dishes out whatever that piece is. So there's less of a chance of the same piece coming up, although you can still get those sequences. However, the random number generator it uses is a little bit biased. So, and I probably completely by accident. So normally I pieces and I think T pieces, and one more piece that I don't remember, are actually much rarer compared to the other pieces. Or slightly rare, rather. It's not like there's a super big difference, but if it ever feels like the game isn't giving you eyepieces, it might not actually be giving you eyepieces. Because of how the bias in the random number generator. Yeah, and then over on the left side there, you can see the statistics of how many pieces showed up and how many pieces you got. We got a very limited number of L pieces there in that run. That was not what I meant to do. Okay, I think I can burn this down. To something reasonable. There we go. That looks a lot better. Now I just need to get the long bar. Like that, and we get 2 of them. No, I think this is it. Lack of squares and long bars this time. Alexei Pajitnov, the creator of Tetris, has gone on record to say that the O piece is his least favorite piece. And quite understandable, because it can be pretty difficult to work with sometimes. No, this one's a wash. That is a little bit... I called it. This is going to be a little bit too high. And you generally don't want to go past the halfway point on the board at this speed, because otherwise it gets too high for DAS. If you're playing with rolling, it might not be too much of an issue, but I am not. Can I tuck anything? Evidently not. Pieces are not coming. Okay, we'll take that. Uh-oh. Nope. At least we're starting to get these bigger rockets more often. That's say more consistently seeing that is a sign of progress. Should have put that on the other side. Oh. Oh, alright. Gotta deal with that. I could not spin that. Should have cleared that eye dependency. And I still, nope. It's funny how you can see things and then not be able to do anything about them. Or rather, my fingers move faster than I think. Which I suppose in a way is a good thing, but also I need to train to not do all those mistakes there. And you gotta make sure your reflexes are actually correct and doing the right things. Like that. I saw the OPs coming up and then didn't leave the O-hole. There is actually a lot of time to think in this game. I assume you can think at a certain speed to be able to keep up. Because there's a lot of time between the piece falling, and then if you do end up clearing a line, that's even more time, because there is a bit of a delay before the next piece comes in. Okay, can I tuck? Yes. That was a deliberate choice there. I'm not sure if it was the best. Certainly not this one. Or my eyepieces. Come on. Next one's going down the hole and it doesn't make it. Ah. Admire my endurance? Thank you. If you've seen previous VODs of me playing this, I am nowhere near. I don't last as long at level 18 back then. Words. I feel like my English has gotten worse on stream. Or it might just be because I'm playing Tetris. This takes a lot of concentration. Not like the more modern variants where it's a lot easier to just talk your way through a game. So yeah, this is a good example of what we were talking about earlier. Is that there's a lot of blue and whites here, and a lot of reds. Oh, really? Just the one? God, oh, I can't make that. What makes one Tetris different than the others? Okay, that's there's a lot of differences across the various Tetris games. This one in particular, from the NES, has a much simpler rule sets than the more modern Tetris games. So in this game, you can't kick off the walls, and the lock delay, so the time between the piece touching the ground and when it locks into place, is much shorter. Whereas in the more modern games that use what's called the guideline, they have a much more forgiving set. So you can. There's a lot of time before it locks down. The rotation allows you to kick off walls. What else is there? There's a hold piece, for one thing, and a ghost piece. Whereas you can see with this one, there is none. You kind of just have to know where it's going to go and deal with what you're dealt. More modern games also tend to have more pieces visible in the next queue, whereas this only has one. And the wall kicks in the modern games allow you to do crazy things like T-spin triples and stuff. And they actually do award you for that, whereas this game, you can do a T-spin, but it's only a recovery technique and it isn't worth any points. And importantly, the randomizer, I explain what the randomizer for this game is, but in more modern games, in the guideline games, they use what's called a 7-bag system, where you put all 7 pieces in a bag, you shuffle them up, and pull them out one by one. And you do that until the bag is empty, and then you put them all back in and then repeat. So that guarantees you a piece every... It guarantees you the piece appearing at least once every 7 pieces, or so, whatever the math ends up being. And people have used that to their advantage and have made openers, where because you know what pieces are going to come up, like maybe not exactly, but you know that you're going to get an O piece in, or rather, you know the frequency of when you're going to get, say, an O piece and all that. You can make patterns. In this game, you can't, because it's not that predictable. And then certain games have certain gimmicks. So for example, Puyo Puyo Tetris, which is a guideline game, is a crossover between Puyo Puyo, which is another falling block game, fairly popular in Japan. And you can play Tetris and Puyo at the same time, or against each other. And they have the famous TGM series, Tetris the Grandmaster, which is what they have in arcades. And that uses a slightly different rotation system. It has what's called a sonic drop, which is in contrast to the hard drop that you have in guideline games, where you press up and it drops. Sorry, a hard drop where you press up and it drops immediately and locks down into place. Whereas a sonic drop drops it down but doesn't lock into place. It's a little bit disorienting for folks like me who are used to hard drop, but it can be a bit more flexible. In NES Tetris, you don't have a hard drop or sonic drop, so you're kind of just stuck with the pieces falling like this. You can soft drop, make it fall faster, but that's about it. But yeah, TGM is known for its difficulty because it gets really hard and really fast. I'll have to pull that out on stream at some point, because up until quite literally last night, I thought it was kind of boring to play, because I find single-player Tetris to be a little bit less exciting than multiplayer Tetris, and TGM just felt like another single-player Tetris. With NES Tetris, I understand where the challenges are, and it's not actually that boring to play for me, because I know where my what to shoot for. I should have put that in the well. But I didn't have that sense with TGM. And then I found somebody linked a video, and that explained the origins of TGM and how it works and all that. And I think I found a new appreciation for it. So I might actually pull that out on stream, because TGM is hard, and the very, very top levels of TGM, very few people have gotten to it. I think in TGM 3, only about 21 people have gotten the very, very top rank, the Grandmaster. So it's a very prestigious rank to get. I had TGM 2, which is also, I don't think it's quite as hard as TGM 3, but it's still plenty hard. And TGM 4 came out a couple months ago, available on Steam, I think, for now. I expect it to come out to consoles at some point. No, this one's not a good run. Got 2 long bar dependencies there. Very nice, welcome in. And then you have games like Tetris 99, where the gimmick is... Oh, it's a multiplayer Tetris game, but you are facing against 98 other players. I think it's if you have a Switch and you have the online subscription, it is free, free to download, free to play. There is a DLC that comes with some of the single player mode if you're a lot more into that. I got my start on Tetris 99, and I think it's a good game. It's made by the developers of TGM, so it definitely has some roots there. But I do also think that it's very forgiving, and you might pick up a couple bad habits if you if you play only Tetris 99 and want to get into some other Tetris games. That's still good. I still boot it up every once in a while. I was saying Tetris is Nintendo, but it's another company. Yes and no. Tetris has... Well, the reason why Tetris is associated with Nintendo is because they got the license for most of the games, especially starting off with the Game Boy Tetris. I think Game Boy Tetris came first, and then NES happened. So they have a historically have had I don't want to say an exclusive license. I actually don't know the history about that and whether it was exclusive or not. But they've had a very big market share for Tetris. Oh, I don't think we've seen that one yet. Oh, even better. Does this get us on the leaderboard? No, it doesn't. So yeah, Tetris has been on Nintendo consoles for a very long time. But you're right in that it's the Tetris company that licenses the IP in the games. The first Tetris was on... It wasn't DOS, it was some Russian computer. I don't remember what it was. Or at least it wasn't MS-DOS, it was some other... If it was a DOS, it was a different DOS. The vodka machine. But yeah, it's the Tetris company that that licenses the games, and then I think individual game developers. So, for example, Audica for TGM and Tetris 99, or Sega for Puyo Puyo Tetris. What else is out there? There was oh, what's the one with the lights? The one with the flashy colors and the lights and all that. Tetris Effect. I think that was Enhanced, Behance, whatever their company name was. Yeah. So yeah, so it's the individual game developer. So the Tetris company, I think, doesn't actually develop any of the games, but they do get the license from the Tetris company to make it an official Tetris game. There's Sand Tetris now. So Sandtrix is a fan-made game, so it's not officially Tetris. And it actually plays a lot more like Puyo Puyo than Tetris, which I think is interesting. Or rather, the strategy for Sandtrix is a lot more like Puyo Puyo than Tetris, despite the name. Yeah, Sandtrix has been around for several years now at this point. I know I think got a Steam release this year, or perhaps last year, but it was on itch for quite a while before that. Yeah, this year. Because I remember some VTubers trying it out. I was not one of them. I probably should pull it out at some point. Because it would be on brand. What are these stacking choices? No, too late. Okay, we're gonna start at level 19 and see if that improves my level 18 play. As you can see, it is much faster. And it's a lot less forgiving. You basically have to know where you're going to put the piece before it even appears, if it'll place anything. A couple more of that. As I said earlier, you do actually have a lot of time to think if you can think this fast. Because you have the amount of time it takes for the piece to fall down. But also, if you end up clearing any lines, you have the amount of time it takes for the line to actually clear, too. Oh, that's not enough. Okay, that somehow reaches, alright. That does not. And unfortunately, if we can't get in there, then I think this one's a wash too. Okay, one more here. I'd be impressed if we get a level 20 transition before we can get a level 19 transition. But I don't think that's going to happen. Especially not with that. Oh yeah, this is now comparatively slower. Sometimes it takes a little bit of exposure to the upper levels to improve a little bit. No, no. That's not how you do that. That's actually how I acquired the taste for black licorice. My uncle gave me a piece of triple salted black licorice, which is very strong. Probably the strongest stuff I've had. Prior to that, I didn't like licorice. But after having that, then he gave me a piece of regular black licorice, and it was comparatively a lot milder, a lot better tasting. And so I acquired the taste of black licorice after that. Based. Fi, I take it you like black licorice too? Oh, that's dependency. Oops, should have used that over there. I'm so poison I enjoy most strong flavors. Ah, I see. Durian Century Egg Spice. Is Century Egg that strong? I didn't think it was. But I mean, I've also had Century Egg growing up, so maybe I'm just used to it. Yeah, Century Egg's pretty mild, but most people find it revolting. Yeah, I guess if it's not in your culture, you didn't grow up with it. The thought of it, or the look, might not be too appealing. But yeah, Century Egg is actually one of my It's probably my favorite way of eating eggs. We're getting eggs prepared. Very good in congee. Beans on toast. With the right toppings, I think it's actually pretty good. I too kind of made fun of it before, but then I made it last year, and it was actually much better than I thought it would be. And then I added, was it egg, bacon, can't remember if I had anything else. The picture's on Twitter. But yeah, that stuff, and I don't know, I would absolutely make that again. And I do actually have beans in my pantry. So if I ever do feel like making beans on toast again, I just gotta pull that out. Grandmother's obsessed with beans on toast. Yeah, I can maybe see why. On the topic of eggs, I do also like balut, but then again, I am also Filipino, so it comes with it comes with the territory a little bit. Want to try balut? Yeah, yeah. I hope that when you do end up trying it, you find a good vendor, because there are some that prepare it worse than others or use worse quality eggs. But when you get a good one, it's really good. So when you eat it, you have to crack it. Usually crack it on the wide end, or like the bottom of the egg. And you slurp out the soup, and then you eat the inside. You have to buy a minimum of 50. Oh. Sounds like you ought to get a bunch of friends over and I don't know, do some sort of bullet party or something. Not an egg person, but for some reason I like French toast, which is literally eggs. Well, preparing, like having eggs straight and then having eggs prepared in a certain way, like it does change the texture and stuff. So I can see that being a thing. No, okay. I hope I get another one soon. There we go. That can be really deadly if you're not lucky. Because of the randomizer, you might not get another one for quite a while. Seems like we are fairly lucky on this round, and I am completely wasting it. Yeah, French toast is good. I think if I have the option between pancakes, waffles, French toast, and is that it? Is that what they usually give for breakfast? I will often take the French toast option. And for those of you who weren't in the stream earlier at the start when I said this, I bought a waffle maker a couple weeks ago and got a chance to try it out. And well, the first time I tried it out, I had pancake mix, and I prepared the batter like a pancake, and it turned out awfully. Turns out you need oil to thicken up the batter for waffles. But I tried again today, and it actually turned out like proper waffles. And I do like how it turned out. And you can freeze waffles, so I think I might have to make a batch and freeze them. Yeah, I much prefer waffles to pancakes. I think it might be a texture thing. Oh, what is this? I'll have to post pictures to social media later. Although if you're in my Discord, I did post the waffles picture, the good one, in the general chat. If anyone wants to check that out, that's in the description, or you can do !Discord in chat, and we'll get a link there. Okay, keeping up a T-piece, or a T-spin hole. Probably not the best idea. Once again, this game does not award you for T-spins. Nope, this one's a wash. It's not enough to clear it. I think I need this. That is a Tetris, okay. Very clean. Not so clean. It's gonna bite me later. Ouch. Okay, well at least we got a rocket here. think we should be able to clear that out. Go back to a good stack here. Ouch. Too high and I don't have an eyepiece in sight. I don't know how you're supposed to recover from that. They're just literally missing the pieces. Okay. I should probably not stack in the middle. Where are my L pieces? No, no, oh, we're not. No. Alright, welcome in. I'm gonna give you a shout out here. Ari2_712. Mari here is a much better classic Tetris player than I am. I can hold my own, but I don't think I would beat him in a in a competition. Oh well. It's fine. Love Classic? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, if any of you are interested, if any of you are interested in good classic Tetris play, that's pretty much all he does. Although I think recently you had also, I think I saw you playing a different game recently. Something that wasn't a stacker. Or no, it was karaoke. So I guess you do do other stuff on occasion as well. Seven, 8. Not bad. We had a little bit higher earlier, but good old big rocket there. No, I should have put that down there, and I should have put that down there too. Too late now. That's gonna come bite me. It's only been, what, 2 hours? I think the fatigue is starting to set in. Oh! No, this one's gone. I am a VTuber real. There are VTubers who actually specialize in just one thing, so yeah. Well, I would say the majority of... Oh no, specifically for the karaoke, I see. I mean, I don't sing. I don't ever do karaoke. I don't do vocal karaokes. I do instrument karaoke. Speaking of which, if any of you are interested, I do one such instrument is to get the automaton. And I do that once every few months. I think the next one might be either in December or January, thereabouts, hopefully. Fatigue is normal after 2 straight hours? Yeah. Actually, it's only been an hour and a half. It's not quite 2 hours yet, but... yeah, I don't know how the top level players can keep up like this. Because they have to play for... how long does it take to complete a whole rebirth run? And they restart multiple times too, because they're not gonna get it in one go. Nope, that one's dead. An hour? That's actually shorter than I thought. It's not happening. But also it's 29 for nearly the full hour. Yeah. Yeah, so level 19, as you all saw before, this is not the fastest this can go. You can get faster. And I already can't keep up with this. I kept up with for a good while earlier, actually. Double 19. Yeah, I don't know. Now, it's in part, I think, because I am playing with the DAS playstyle. So it's, of course, much harder to get things over onto the other side with that, but even still. For context for the rest of you, level 19 or 29 was considered to be just about the fastest level you can get using DAS, and if you get to level 20, or sorry, level 29 was about the fastest you can get with DAS. There are very select few who can reach level 30 with just DAS, but otherwise you generally don't have enough time to move your pieces over just by holding the button down. We're gonna go back to sane speeds here. Alright, there you go. I'm actually taking the Tetrises this time around. Unlike last time. Although, some other issues. But one thing at a time. Nope, that's not making it. Yeah. Still have not yet gotten a level 19 transition, and maybe it'll show up today. Because I feel like if I actually play consistently enough, it might happen. Do you remember how many lines it takes to get a transition? So I don't think I was able to find anything online that gave me a like a strict number. Yeah, DAS control is something else. Somebody underestimated its difficulty. Yeah. Especially when you're up more than halfway. Like, don't get more than halfway. I think is the strategy here. 130, okay. I don't think I've gotten over 100 lines yet, so... But I don't think it's necessarily out of reach either. Yeah, I'll just keep playing like this. Just keep low. I probably could have used that over there. And all these eyepieces where I don't need them. Okay, never mind. I don't think this is the run. Okay, can I get that over there at least? Yes. It is still possible to skim this out. Not anymore! Transition lines is different each level, which is probably why there's an inconsistent answer. Okay. An even 100,000. I think we may have gotten bigger earlier this stream, because we did get the we did get the building shooting up. GG, thank you. That should have been over on the other side. And that isn't even 4, okay. And with this game, it's very risky to make last second changes. So it's best that you avoid doing that. That one wasn't far enough. Although I hear there's one player who's really good at that. Nope, I misread that one. Yeah, unlike in guideline Tetris, where you have a very forgiving lock delay, this locks pretty much as soon as it touches down. When you have maybe a frame. Where are my eyepieces? Hello? Hello? Yeah, you have maybe a frame before it touches down, which is just enough for a T-spin. Well. Okay, I think we can still dig our way out of this one. That could have been a Tetris. Axmar, welcome in. That could have been a Tetris. Yeah, we'll absolutely take this one though. questionable moves there. I'm gonna try to burn so we're at a more reasonable height. Which might take a little bit. Not too bad. Back down to decent stacking. This is getting very dangerous. Where is my long bar? A little bit too late. But that was over 100,000. I'll take it. Burn that a little bit. Which version of Tetris is this? This is the NES Tetris as played on the NES emulator on the Switch. If you ever heard the term classic Tetris, this is what they're referring to. Most of the time. Sometimes that applies to Game Boy Tetris as well. But usually they're referring to this one. Game Boy Tetris is very similar. I think the biggest difference is probably that actually no, that might not be the biggest difference. I know the difference that sticks out to me is that rotations in Game Boy Tetris are left-handed, whereas in NES Tetris they're right-handed. Meaning that in NES Tetris there's a bias for the rotated pieces to be on the right side when they're not symmetric, whereas for Game Boy Tetris they're on the left side. But I actually don't know how the leveling system works on Game Boy. I haven't played it a whole lot. Game Boy Tetris is another one of those single-player Tetris games that I find kind of boring to play, so I don't play it. But again, perhaps I just don't understand it well enough, so maybe if somebody has I come across an explanation of what people go for in that game, maybe it'll become more interesting to me. That was not what I meant to do. That's not 4 either. Well then. I think I will prioritize safety over points at the moment, and try to well, I guess that's not happening. Whoop, the failed tuck. It's a turnaround. Okay, you can get that Tetris there. Piled up too quickly. Yeah, it's with this version, things can turn around very, very quickly. That could have been a Tetris. You misplace one piece and the rest of your board just dies. Especially at these speeds. In part because of the very fast lock delay. Or you basically don't have... What was that? You basically don't have any time to make your place your piece, so you gotta get it right the first time, otherwise you're stuck with it until you clear it out. Chatting isn't helping playing the game? Yeah, probably not. But that's what you do as a streamer. You do a little bit of sacrifice. I wasn't talking, I got 19 start DAS PB. Oh, very good. Congrats. I definitely got an 18 start PB in this stream. That's not 4. It's fine. Okay, we build that up over there, I guess. I mentioned this earlier, but center walls are not necessarily a good thing to build here, because they're a lot harder to maintain in this version than Tetris than more modern ones. I could have had my first 19 start DAS max, but 879,300 is good too. Oh, that's pretty good. That's certainly a lot higher than anything I could get. That could have been handled differently. Tuck this one. That's gonna come and bite me later. Gotta focus on making the Tetrises and actually taking them. Take that. I don't know, I'm not too concerned. Performance today has been up and down. I'm sure at some point we'll get back up. A lucky seed would help too. Now I'm gonna tuck this, very good. I'm gonna try to skim this off, maybe. Actually, skimming it off is probably not the move here. And that could have been... Okay. Tuck this. And use that for a Tetris. I can access it. Oh, no, no. Ooh, it's gonna come bite me later. That is going to come bite me later. And this might be it. Nope, rotated too much. That could have been, I think that was possibly salvageable. I missed it by 4k points. Ooh. Actually, I haven't been paying attention to how quickly you accumulate points in this game. I'm not at a level yet where I need to care about that. That's not 4. No, there's this, but... I guess we're doing a left hand well now. We're back to right hand walls, very good. Yeah, you generally want your wall to be on the right side because, as I said earlier, the rotations are right-handed in this game. So you'll have a lot easier time getting the pieces, the eyepiece to the right side than on the left. Wasn't recording, I had to get out my phone for like the last third of the game, prop it up, and continue playing. Yeah, I feel like there's a point where I would be... Yeah, sometimes I feel like I should be recording my my gameplay when I'm doing this offline. But at the same time, it's not like I am at a... For me personally, I'm not at a level where... it's not like I'm going to be breaking any records. Only personal bests, I guess. So I guess I have been holding back just a tiny bit, so I would get the level 19 transition on stream. But even if I did get it off stream, I don't think I'd mind too much. But yeah, certainly I think at levels where you're at, having like recording your gameplay is maybe a little bit more important. That was a good run, thank you. Now that is getting uncomfortably high. Precisely for that reason. But it's also not 4. Oh, I can get a Tetris out of that. Fatigue is absolutely setting in. There's just 3 eyepieces in a row. Yeah, I'm just gonna just skim this off, because we're absolutely not getting any touches from that. I see these moves after I've already placed the piece down. Oh, you know, far enough. I hesitated. By the way, for anyone who is on it, these games are being recorded on NES TETRIS, netris.org, so if you're on there, you may or may not be able to see these. I don't know how the site works, I just know that I hooked it up. Any PB is good enough to record? Yeah, that's also fair. Because it is, like, personal progress is still an achievement. Whoops. I should record my games before I got 300k or 400k. Yeah, because you once you reach a certain point, it becomes difficult to play badly again. And this oh whoops. This applies to a lot of things too, like playing instruments. Once you know how to play an instrument well, it actually takes effort to play it badly. Playing too fast. Slow down and actually make the correct moves here. Which they were almost, I'm just missing it just a tiny bit. questionable. Gonna hit with the lack of wall kicks over there. Okay, I think this is fairly salvageable. It should be fine. As long as I slow down. Take the finger off the soft drop key. And I hope I get a T-piece, because I just set up a T-spin. There we go. Once again, T-spins aren't worth anything here. They're just recovery tactics. Why did I do that? That was the wrong piece. I hesitated on that one. Not a bad run though. I think we'll go for maybe another half hour. Brings us to about 2.5 hours. If I think any more than that, and fatigue might set in a little bit too hard. Oh, and that doesn't make it through. Okay. It's a little bit too high. What if I had rotated a little bit later? Maybe it would have gotten... would have been able to make it, maybe. And somehow Tetris. I don't know if my brain can keep up nowadays. You might be surprised. Well, so to be fair, this is on one of the higher levels. But there are lower levels you can start with, and I think you can build up to this. Oh, whoops. Because I certainly didn't start at this speed. It took me several... When did I start playing NES Tetris? When was my first stream? I have time before that, while that thing's still going. About a year ago, a little under a year ago. And before I could only really... Actually, no, I played a little bit before that, because I was playing Classic on... What was it? On Tetris Effect. But back then, I could only really start here-ish. like 6 or 7, or like 6. And this is very slow. Or at least comparatively slow to 18. And I had quite a bit of trouble with this one. But now... I don't know. This is... To me, this feels very slow. But only because I'm used to the much faster speeds. Well, let's see where we go with this one. Is Tetris 99 2 years ago? Yeah, Tetris 99 comes up a fair amount on this channel. Whenever, pretty much only when, but yeah, it's pretty much only when there's an event that's going on. Because Tetris 99 still has those. And I wish Nintendo would announce them sooner than they do, because I usually they announce it like the week of, after I had already posted my schedule. I really want to leave that clear. Okay. But yeah, Tetris 99. I like the game. And I'm glad they're still keeping it active. But it can get pretty repetitive on stream, I think. But I'm not like this isn't repetitive either. Takes a good year or two before people get comfortable with 18, if at all. Yeah, it seems to line up with my experience. This feels way too easy? Yeah, there you go. Hey, you could probably get started, like level 9 or something. But then again, these tend to be a lot harder than it looks. Because it's one thing to play while watching somebody else do it, but then when you have to do it, then it's a different problem. Does it speed up as it goes on? Yes. Yes, it does. Level 6 transitions at 70 lines? Okay, so we should be there soon. Assuming I stack well enough for us to survive that. Which, as much as it feels like I should be able to, you never know. The game might just decide not to give us any long bars. I'm gonna try to reposition the well there. Actually, putting the old piece over at the very edge was probably the better move. It makes it a little bit more flexible. Move that there. That is dangerous. Okay. We got that transition. Although I don't think level 7 is any faster than 6. Actually, maybe it is. That feels like it's slightly faster. There are, So it's not strictly every level gets faster. I think it's every like couple levels get faster. The color change with level, yes. So every level does have a different color scheme. Although it does repeat. So you notice that level 8 has the same color scheme as level 18. And that happens up to a point, and after that point the colors get weird. Because the developers never expected anyone to get past that, so they never protected for it. Okay, so level 9, as you see, is falling quite a bit faster now. I used to struggle at this level here, but now it's a fair piece of cake. So it takes time, but you eventually get to it. That is extremely questionable. And I didn't get to spin that in. Okay. Every level from 0 to 10 has a different speed, but 10 to 12 is the same. Ah, okay. Which I guess makes sense, considering that's where you start off with, and then the later levels are either you have to know to unlock it, or to access it rather, or you get to it by playing. I am up uncomfortably high, but it should be fine at this speed. Yeah, so 10 to 12 is the same, 13 to 15 is the same, but faster. Then sort of 16 to 18, then 19 to 28, then 29. And it just stays at 29 until you go back down to 0. When the counter rolls over. I honestly wonder if we're gonna survive this, because I'm starting to make loads of mistakes now. Not impossible, but that is pretty unlucky. Oh, no, that's it. 111,000. Score potential before the 19 transition increases from 0 to 9, but is non-linear past 9. I forgot the exact order, but there's more scoring potential for level 9 starts versus level 17 starts. Yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar. You can get more scoring starting from it. So yeah, there are certain optimizations for the scoring. Like the reason why people start at level 18 is because this is about as or rather with the higher level means higher scoring for every line that you clear. And so level 18 is, I think, the point at which it's the slowest speed you can get while still having a fairly um, high score rate. So 18 is where the professionals tend to start, I think, because of that. So that's the optimization there. Slower speeds, yeah, I think 9 was probably what I heard. So back when I was starting off, I was trying to start at 9. But yeah, at this level, people generally start at 18. Because you do have to balance too, right? Because having the potential to go higher, or the longer you play, the higher, the more chance you get to gain points, but also the longer you have to last. So endurance is also a factor there. And as you saw earlier, right? As much as I could keep up with the speeds, starting from level 6, there's a point where it gets to be a little bit much if I make too many mistakes. And if you make more mistakes and over and over again, those pile up. And even though it might be fast enough for you to deal with normally, you might just have too many mistakes for you to recover from. Whoops. Can I not? Oh, let's say, left hand eye dependency, which is not great. But yeah, this 208 PB, starting from level 13. We got that in our first stream, and haven't been able to beat it since. Early on in that first stream, too. That's dependency, and I do not want that. No, I made it worse. Okay. But, okay, we at least got the dirty Tetris there. I'm able to, I can show you the spreadsheet for scoring potential for each level. It's a nice graphic. Yeah, feel free to link that in chat. I won't be able to pull it up on screen, but I can reshare that on YouTube. Let's go ahead and link that over. This is that spreadsheet. If anyone wants to take a look at it. I will also take a quick look at it before resuming. Okay. Yeah, I think I've seen something to this effect before. Not this exact spreadsheet, but I've probably seen some sort of visualization. It was probably a Game Scout video, probably. No, I saw that. Yeah, what I said earlier in the stream where sometimes my fingers move faster than I think, and I miss an opportunity. Glenn, welcome in. It is still alive, indeed. Just like that one. That was another opportunity I could have taken. Oh well. Yeah, I'm not sure how much longer we'll go for, but we'll go for a little bit longer at least. At least until we hit the 2.5 hour mark. And then we'll see how I feel from there. I do feel like fatigue is probably setting in. I please swear you. Come on. We're gonna get it as soon. Okay, all right. As soon as we're up too high to use it. That was entirely the wrong place to put it. Okay. We're just gonna have to do our best over here, because that is not gonna go down without a whole ton of skimming. And skim we do. Except I'm gonna have to skim harder. I don't think this one's recovering. I didn't get the castle lifting off. We did get that a couple of times this stream. We have to get over 100,000 for that to happen. A little bit over that, actually. We have gotten very close a couple times too. Can I please? Okay, thank you. And I couldn't tuck. Uh-oh. Oh, this one's gone. Okay, try to. So, what did I say about fatigue setting in? Hearing the voice sound from the Game Boy version of my head. Yeah, I can see how that might happen. I think the Game Boy version came out first, didn't it? I'm not mistaken. Oh, certainly the more famous one. Nope, nope. Okay, I'm just gonna try to skim that off. It'll be very difficult, but we can try. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit an O piece in there. Just continue skimming this off until we get back to the ground. That is not how you skim. Can't just keep blocking everything else. Oh, oh, no, no, we're done. Okay. Well, this looks like a good siege. Oh, it's nice when you see a lot of blues and whites. Oh, we just made it. I don't know if we're making it out of this one. That's not gonna clear anything. That did make it. I do feel like I'm getting a little bit impatient here. I'm holding down the soft drop button. Which means I should just start at level 19 if I'm gonna do that. Which I may as well for a little bit. Wait a minute, hold on, what? One moment. I thought the stream was tomorrow. Lure, Iwanami Lure, was doing a music collab with somebody. And I was planning on raiding into him tomorrow after the music stream. But apparently it might actually be tonight. Okay. I might have a change of raid plans, potentially, or something. Let me just double check that. This is the lure that I'm talking about, by the way. Do I have I do. No, I do not have that on YouTube. Let me get that on YouTube. This guy. He's been on this channel before. You gotta say hi to him again? Yeah. He's doing some sort of music challenge with a friend of his. Okay, so I did just misread this. I should. It is today. It is in half an hour. Okay, hold on. One moment. I'm going to see who else is live right now. I'm not going to raid out yet because I had somebody in mind to raid. But he's no longer live, so I think we're going to stall so we can raid lure later. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So we're gonna be here for another half hour, at least. He's no longer live. Yeah, I was gonna be I'll give him a shout out after this. It looks like it's gonna be very soon because this is awful stacking. Shout out Dubstep298. No, I gotta wait another 25 seconds before or give another shout out there. They died. No, I didn't need to skim that one. Shout out to Kimono Friends dub. I don't think I've watched any Kimono Friends actually. Dub or sub. I know of it. Although, come to think of it, I know next to nothing about the series either. Okay, let's try that again. Shout out Dubstep298. There we go. Yeah, so I was gonna rate him because he qualified for the regionals for or sorry, the nationals for Red Bull Tetris. And I think I was playing a little bit on stream earlier. But he's no longer live, so I can't rate him. Or I mean, technically I can because offline raids are a thing, but we're not gonna do that. Might get to say hi to him then? Nice. Did you qualify? Are you traveling down to Toronto for other reasons? I'll take from the Kimono Friends dub. Oh man, it's a dubstep again. I wonder what the context for that was. He's in Canada. Yeah, he's in Canada. So there's a chance that I might be able to meet him. But yeah, you're down in the States. Not unless you're coming up here for reasons. Yeah, it's not Tizago. Isn't Tizago also in Canada? Although I don't know. I mean, I met Zago at Snow is Infinite, but I don't actually know where they're from. They're on your leaderboards? Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know how many people fly out for Snow is Infinite. I know a bunch of people. Actually, no. I know some people do fly out here. I don't know, I may be thinking of participating in the next one. Last year I didn't because I didn't know what the skill levels were of people who were participating. I didn't want to show up, spend money, and then just lose right out of the gate. So I only spectated last year, but maybe this year I might, because it seems like I should be able to take some people on. Maybe not in Tetrio, but in the other games. I hesitate to say anything. Well, there's a Vits, I guess. You know what? I'll take that. I think this might be the highest we've gotten today. Aha! A certain theme tune in the show representing a certain antagonistic force is iconically a dubstep. One of the voice actors commented about it a couple times in the outtakes. Ah, I see. Alien into the UFO. I'll read out the Twitch chat later once the ad breaks over on Twitch. Extremely questionable. But I should be able to tuck that in just fine. I should have tucked the O piece in instead of that one. We do a T-spin here, and I missed the spin. Got it for that one. Alright. So far so good. A little bit of a questionable move there, but we keep going. I was a little bit too high for comfort. I should have put that over on the left side. Skim this off. It's down there. I was gonna say skim that off too, but went a little bit too far. Bad rotations there. And now we're good. I didn't qualify going with a CTWC covering the classic players that qualified as well as to meet up with the modern guideline folks that did too. Ah, very good. Oh, by the way, earlier I mentioned Snow is Infinite, so for those of you who don't know what that is a LAN, a Tetris LAN. Although they do play other games too, and it's largely Tetris, but anyway, it's a LAN that happens over in Toronto. It's so far been an annual thing, and I think there probably will be another one next year. It's usually around January, February-ish. Might have been March last year, I don't remember. Or this year. Still 2025. 49 is the lowest score yet? I think I may have gotten lower while you weren't here. Yeah, those ones hardly count. And there's the eyepiece there. Oh, once again, moving faster than I think. I don't actually look at the next piece. I see it in my peripheral vision, and I think I subconsciously make decisions based on that, but I'm not actively thinking about the next piece. But I know I'm looking at it because if I remove the next... Hold on. I gotta press the button. If I remove the next piece, my performance goes down considerably. I'm gonna try that again, but from the start. Yeah, like it's how do you remove the next piece display? You press select. You can toggle the next piece display by pressing select in game. I'm surprised I haven't seen any leaderboard challenges for no next piece. Also, apparently nobody plays Type B either. I thought too hard on that one. See, this is why it's usually a good thing that I move quicker than I think, because if I think, then I'm gonna second guess myself and get things wrong. Put myself in a worse position. I would like a T-piece, please. It's up a little bit too high to use it. I think therefore I am making mistakes, yeah. Yeah, even in guideline Tetris, really, though. The less you think, and the more you rely on your instincts and your reflexes, the better you'll tend to play. But you obviously have to train your instincts and reflexes so that you actually play well to begin with. I believe there is at least a record of who has NNV world record, but so I don't think I know where that leaderboard for it is. For the no next piece, no next block, I guess would be. Don't use the next piece display, but I think this is probably because I am a Tetris noob. Yeah, a lot of beginners don't know how to use it, because they get dealing with the current pieces is already a lot to think about. And that is something you develop a skill for over time. The way that you use the next piece, at least to start off with, is before you place your current piece, look at your next piece, and then place your current piece in a way that accommodates the next piece. So you're always dependent on what the next piece is instead of trying to stuff in what the next piece is after the fact. And so by doing that, you don't get stuck in a situation where you end up having to wait for just the right piece, because you're always making space for it. And the same applies in this game too. Although luck is absolutely much more of a factor here. For those who missed it earlier, that's because of the randomizer. NES Tetris uses a much more random way of giving you pieces than modern Tetris does. Modern Tetris, in comparison, is very predictable. Yeah, Modern Tetris guarantees you all end pieces every end pieces, yes. So I'll explain again for anyone who wasn't here at the earlier in the stream when I had went through it. But Modern Tetris uses what's called the 7-bag system, in which all 7 pieces are put into a bag, and you randomly take one out until the bag is empty. And then after that, you put all the pieces back in the bag, and then you repeat. So you're guaranteed you're guaranteed to never get a repeat every 7 pieces, and you're guaranteed to get each piece at least, you're guaranteed to get each piece once every 7 pieces too. And from that, because it's so predictable, relatively speaking, people have made openers. Did that not go? It's supposed to go one more to the right. Okay. Oh. And you also have a swap button, yeah. So in Modern Tetris, you also have the hold space, where if you don't want to use the piece that's coming up, or that's in your queue right now, that's falling, you can hold it and swap it for another piece. Which the correct way of looking at that is not as a safety mechanism for holding bad pieces, but more as a source of non-randomness. Because you know for sure what's in your hold space, because you can see it. So if it would be more optimal to use a certain piece later, so for example your eye pieces, it's very common to hold those pieces so you can use them later. Teeny rocket, yeah. See, often, yeah, well, it's not entirely whoops. It's not strictly necessary to hold pieces in Modern Tetris. But you'll often be... I was gonna say you'll often be at a disadvantage if you don't, but there are some people who just don't play with hold, and they're fine. I think it all depends on how much you want to optimize, because holding does take time, which could be time you can be using to place pieces. And if you're fast enough, there is a point where holding may or may not be beneficial. And it may be faster to just cycle through pieces instead of holding for a more optimal space. Heavy Weapons got a tiny baby rocket. I don't do voice acting. You can imagine that I said in the Heavy Weapons voice. I actually don't know what that would sound like. Can I get a J piece, please? And I think this one's a dead run. Like 0 J pieces at all. Basically a big burly guy with Slavic accent. Yeah, I can see that. $14 points. Probably all, it might have all been pushdown points, maybe? I can't remember if I cleared any lines in that one. So in this game, along with, I think pretty much every other Tetris game too, part of your points is calculated by, if you soft drop, it gives you more points than if you let the piece drop by itself. I think it's 1 point for every space that you, 1 point for every row that you soft drop. Or something like that. Which can sometimes be the difference between you winning and you losing against an opponent of similar skill. Yeah, it was definitely pushdown points, because line clears are worth a lot more. Speaking of Slavic accents, there was a post on Reddit I saw earlier this morning, where a crow was speaking Russian. I have to pull that out and send it over the Discord later. Oh, didn't make it. Isn't 14 points the name of one of the post-World War I agreements? I am not sure. That doesn't ring a bell. I'm also not much of a history buff either. At least not war history. No, no. Okay, let's skim that off. Hopefully we'll get another... Not like that. almost got that. We go for a little bit longer, maybe 1, 2 more, then we'll probably end it there. 14 points was a statement of principles for peace that was to be used for peace negotiations in order to end World War I. The principles were outlined in a January 8, 1918 speech on war aims and peace terms to the United States Congress by President Woodrow Wilson. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to remember that, but good to know. At least the term 14 points is now a thing that I might be able to recognize. Even if I might not remember what exactly it is. Well, that's what we have the internet for. Oh, come on. Oh, come on! Somehow still managed to get a Tetris out of that, but still. Well, I suppose if any moment is clippable out of this stream, it would probably be that one. Yeah, I've been thinking recently about, or rather, the topic came up in another server where I clip people a lot, but I don't really find myself to be all that clippable. So it's either I really am not all that clippable, or I just don't see it for myself, and maybe I am, and just nobody's needs somebody else to clip for me. Really? That said, I'm sure the automaton strings are probably something I can clip. Just need to find a one of the better songs. Because clips are one of the best ways you can market yourself as a VTuber. And I have not been clipping myself. It's not 4 now, it's 4. No, I saw that coming too. Okay, we're gonna do one more. Alright, so we're at the 3-hour mark. Maybe 2, depending on if we manage to get past the Twitch ads or not. Which, by the way, Twitch, an ad is starting in about 2 minutes. Yes. saw that. Okay, it's gonna have to be more than one. Unfortunately, putting this down is not going to be a Tetris because some holes down there. This one will though. Skim that off. Now we're working with 2 lines less. We're going a bunch of lines less. Too much. Why did I do that? Okay. Still keep going because Twitch is hasn't gone through ads yet. Oh, I can feel the fatigue setting in. Okay, we're gonna T-spin this. If I can actually spin. I looked at it the wrong way. I saw it. I was going to make space for that J piece. And then I put it on the wrong side. Can you tell the fatigue is starting to set in? Oh, I'm not going to be able to clear that. I need an eyepiece very quickly. This one I think is going to be a fairly average run. As evidenced by the holes that I'm making here. Average or not, I think this might be the last one. Welcome back, Twitch. Okay. Oh, we're not gonna do one more after that. I'm actually gonna end here. No level 19 today, or no level 19 transition today, but I do think I've started to improve because I'm not sure if I've ever gotten the building lifting off at level 18, so that's a good start. And we got it twice today. Next stream, we're gonna be continuing our composition. Still don't have a name for this thing. I'm hoping one will come next time, maybe. I don't know. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I still haven't come up with a good title for this. GG's, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so that'll be tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll probably be. I don't know how close we are to finishing this. We'll probably be able to get another stream or two after this. Because we do tend to have four-ish streams for these compositions. So we're maybe about halfway through. It depends on how long I decide to make it. So there's that. If you want to show up to that. This is the Discord. If you'd like to join, you're not already in there. We do have a channel for Tetris and for music making. Well, specifically falling blocks for Tetris is on topic for. Now I will be posting that Reddit thread that I saw with the crow once I find it again in the Discord. Also, if you want to see the waffle, it's there too. For those of you who missed it earlier in the stream, I had mentioned that I bought a waffle maker. And I made waffles today. For those of you new here, my name is Penbu, and the programming, puzzle gaming, and music making VTuber on Linux. Today we played NES Tetris. I played Tetris a fair amount, although it seems like I haven't played in about 2 months. So sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off, but when it's on, it gets to be pretty frequent. So I expect to see more soon. All different types, not just NES Tetris. Maybe we'll play TCM at some point soon. So I kind of want to do that. Okay. I did say we're gonna raid into lure, so we're gonna do that. So Twitch, stick around. We're gonna raid. YouTube, I'm going to direct you to his stream manually because I can't do a proper redirect because we're not there yet. You need 1,000 subscribers, and we're only at a little bit over 200. Speaking of which, 200 subscriber special. Hopefully later this month. There's still a couple things I need to prep for that. But we'll be making Windows Classic themes for images that you send in. So if there's a color palette or an image or something that you'd like for me to turn into a theme, you can send that in when I send out the details. Otherwise, if nobody sends anything in, we'll just make it for other VTubers. Okay, I think that is it. Once again, if you're on NES TETRIS, my link for that is in the description on YouTube. And for those of you on Twitch, there it is. Those on YouTube, there it is. Anyway, again, I don't actually know what you see there, but there it is. If you have a look at it, I'll send that song I mentioned during the improv stream in a bit. All right. Very good. Okay. I think that's it. So yeah, we're gonna go see Lure. He is doing music, some sort of music challenge, and I don't know what it is, but it sounds like it's going to be fairly unique and a lot of fun. But anytime, hope to see you next time, and good night. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah. Oh, I guess I never mentioned that Lure also plays Tetris once in a while. I don't think he's played in quite a while, but he does play. Anyway, this here, for those of you on YouTube, is the stream on YouTube. And then for those of you on Twitch, this is going to be the raid. This is the raid message. So if you'd like to participate, you can go ahead and copy that and paste it in when we get there. For those on YouTube, you get a manual raid. You will have to go there by yourself, because the system will not do that for you. But yeah, it's going to be some sort of music challenge here, so enjoy that. Or general music sharing go again. In this case, because I think you mentioned it during a stream, you can put it in Penbu Live, or you can put it in other creators. Okay, I think that's it. Once again, enjoy the stream, and we'll see you next time. Alright, bye. I'm waiting until we're out of until I'm out of ads. Hopefully the raid lasts long enough. But yeah, hopefully you don't get dropped into an ad either.